Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is your home for organic Bible study. This is the Bible Bistro, the finest Bible Bistro on the internet. Daily Dose Radio, come on in. We've got some fresh and delicious Bible study for you today. Psalm 13, our when psalm. When, O Lord, are you going to forget me forever? When are you going to do something here? How long are you going to hide your face? And that's our psalm this week, and it's a very honest prayer that David prays. So we're going to look at verse 5 today. But before we do, just want to say thank you to some of the folks out in the world who are listening to Daily Dose Radio, those in France and in Singapore have been listening lately, and I just want to thank you for being a part of the Daily Dose family, especially the folks in Singapore. They've been listening to Daily Dose for quite a while, and you're quite a big piece of our audience, and so thanks so much for being a part and for listening in to this 5-minute broadcast, studying the Psalms verse by verse. Verse 5, So I, even I, will trust in your loving kindness. My heart will rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord, for he has dealt bountifully with me. This is the confident statement of faith. Now, we're going to see more of this from David. This is a psalm of David, and we're going to see more of this, especially when we arrive at Psalm 18, his great confession of faith. But notice that we have it here at the end of this psalm where we have these questions. How long? How long will you forget me? How long will you hide your face? How long shall I seek counsel of my own soul? How long will my enemy be exalted over me? And of course, the enemy's the problem, because then from verse 2 to verse 4, we have the enemy in view and actually hear the enemy speak. We looked at that yesterday. But now we forget the enemy. Now we forget our questions, don't we? Now we've forgotten all the grief that I've felt up to this point. And so now, instead of having the grief, what do I have? I have this wonderful confession of faith. We have this confident statement that the Lord's going to take care of everything. And of course, he is. And David is expressing that here in these beautiful words. So I, even I, will trust in your loving kindness. Even when the enemy says, I will finish him, I will trust in your loving kindness. Even when those that vex me rejoice when I'm moved, I'll trust in your loving kindness. Even when I'm afraid I'm going to sleep the sleep in death, I will trust in your loving kindness. Even when my enemy is exalted over me, even when I have grief in my heart daily, even when I seek counsel of my own soul, even when you hide your face from me seemingly, yes, in all of those instances, I will trust in your loving kindness, because I know that the one thing that is most certain in all of the world, in all of eternity, is the loving kindness of the Lord. So David makes this confident confession of faith. I will trust in your loving kindness. My heart will rejoice in your salvation. Now notice that that's a reversal of verse 2. In verse 2, we had him saying, How long shall I seek counsel of my own soul, grieving in my heart daily? Well, now instead of grieving in his heart, he's rejoicing. My heart will rejoice in your salvation. So there's no doubt about it. This confident confession of faith has changed things for David. Suddenly now, instead of looking at the dark possibilities, suddenly now, instead of asking the question, how long, now he's saying, well, my heart, instead of grieving, it's going to be rejoicing because, well, we've introduced the element of change, haven't we? God's loving kindness. That element of change always transforms. That element of change always does the good work. And then he says, I will sing to the Lord, for he has dealt bountifully with me. That word bountifully there is a lovely word, and it just means that. He has fully dealt with me. I am complete in him because of his bounty towards me. He's filled me up. He's given me all that I could ever need. What a beautiful way to end this psalm. Join me next week. We'll look at Psalm 14 and be introduced to the fool. See you then on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.